The Saturday charity ride had always been the biggest event of the year for the Iron Guardians Motorcycle Club. More than 100 bikers from across the state gathered outside an old community center, their chrome-covered motorcycles sparkling beneath the morning sun. Despite their intimidating appearance, everyone in town knew these riders for something very different. They raised money for hospitals, delivered food to struggling families, and quietly helped children who had nowhere else to turn. Their leader, Marcus "Steel" Donovan, stood beside his black touring motorcycle, checking the route one last time. At 48 years old, his gray beard and broad shoulders made him look fearless, but those closest to him knew he never ignored someone in need. Years earlier, he had lost his own wife to illness after they couldn't afford proper treatment. Since then, every charity ride had become personal. As engines roared to life, a tiny voice cut through the thunder. "Sir, please buy my bike." Marcus looked down. Standing beside him was a little boy no older than 8. His clothes were clean but badly worn. His sneakers had holes near the toes, and his hands clutched a small blue bicycle with faded paint and rusty handlebars. The child's eyes were red as though he had spent the entire night crying. Marcus crouched so they were eye level. "That's a nice bike, buddy," he said gently. "But why would you want to sell it?" The boy swallowed hard. "Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." The words landed like a punch to every rider standing nearby. Marcus glanced toward the other bikers, whose cheerful conversations instantly faded into silence. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. "Ethan." "And where's your mom, Ethan?" "At home. She keeps saying she's not hungry, but I know she's lying. She gave me the last bread yesterday." Marcus felt his chest tighten. "How much do you want for your bike?" The boy looked embarrassed. "I don't know, maybe $50. Is that too much?" Several bikers quietly turned away, hiding tears. Marcus reached into his wallet and pulled out $300. Ethan's eyes grew wide. "I can't take that." "You can," Marcus smiled. "And you keep the bike." The little boy shook his head. "No, if I keep it, you didn't really buy it." Marcus laughed softly. "Then I'll leave it with you until I learn how to ride a kid's bicycle." For the first time, Ethan smiled. It lasted only a second. Then his face filled with worry again. "Can we hurry? Mommy gets dizzy when she stands." Without another word, Marcus climbed onto his motorcycle. "Lead the way." Within seconds, over 100 motorcycles rolled slowly behind the little blue bicycle as Ethan walked toward the edge of town. People stopped to stare. Children waved. Drivers pulled over. Nobody understood why the massive biker convoy was following one little boy. After 15 minutes, Ethan stopped outside a tiny rental house that looked ready to collapse. Broken windows had been covered with cardboard. The front steps leaned dangerously, and weeds had swallowed most of the yard. Marcus knocked. No answer. He knocked again. A weak voice finally came from inside. "Ethan, I told you not to worry about me." The boy pushed open the unlocked door. "Mommy, I sold my bike." Marcus followed carefully. The house was almost empty. No television, no sofa, only 2 folding chairs, an old mattress on the floor, and a small kitchen with completely bare shelves. A young woman struggled to sit upright. She couldn't have been older than 30. Her face was pale. Dark circles rested beneath her eyes. She looked frightened the moment she saw dozens of leather-jacketed bikers outside her home. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "We don't have anything." Marcus removed his sunglasses. "We're not here to take anything." Tears immediately filled the woman's eyes. "My name is Lily." Ethan was trying to sell his bicycle. She covered her face with both hands. "Oh no, I told him never to do that." "I know," Marcus replied gently. "But he loves you." Lily broke into quiet sobs. "I've tried everything. I worked 2 jobs. I sold my jewelry. I sold my car. I even sold our furniture." Marcus noticed something strange. The walls had lighter square marks where pictures once hung. Every valuable item seemed deliberately removed. This wasn't ordinary poverty. Someone had stripped this family's entire life away. "What happened?" he asked. Lily hesitated. "I don't want trouble." Marcus exchanged a glance with 2 veteran riders standing behind him. "Sometimes trouble already exists." She stared at the floor. "My husband died last year. I'm sorry." After his funeral, his business partner came. Marcus remained silent. "He said my husband owed him money." "Did he?" She slowly shook her head. "My husband kept perfect records. But every document disappeared. The partner arrived with lawyers. They took the company. They took our savings. They even claimed this house. Marcus frowned. How are you still living here? They're waiting for the court date. They said once it's finished, Ethan and I will be on the street. One biker quietly whispered a curse under his breath. Marcus looked around the nearly empty room. What was your husband's business? He owned a construction company. What was his partner's name? Lily hesitated again. Victor Kane. The room suddenly became silent. Marcus's expression changed. Every biker recognized that name. Victor Kane wasn't simply wealthy. He controlled half the city's construction projects. Politicians attended his parties. Television stations praised his donations. People called him one of the city's greatest businessmen. Marcus knew another version. Years ago, Victor had forced several small contractors into bankruptcy using forged contracts and corrupt lawyers. Nothing had ever been proven. Until now. Marcus looked at Lily. Do you still have any papers? She reached beneath the mattress and removed a worn envelope. I kept these because they were the only things they missed. Inside were handwritten notes, old receipts, and one small notebook. Marcus flipped through it. His breathing slowed. Every payment, every project, every signature. The notebook contained records that shouldn't exist. One page caught his attention. It listed millions of dollars transferred into an account that wasn't registered to the company. Instead, beside the account number, someone had written 2 words in black ink. Victor Personal. Marcus closed the notebook. This changes everything. Lily looked confused. It does. Marcus nodded slowly. If these records are real, they're real. Then someone didn't just steal your company. He looked toward the doorway where dozens of bikers waited outside. They stole your entire life. Marcus slipped the notebook carefully into the envelope. Then he turned toward his club. Nobody leaves. One rider asked quietly, Steele, what are we doing? Marcus stared down the road toward the city skyline, where Victor Kane's luxurious headquarters stood above everyone else. His voice became calm. We're getting the truth. Outside, over 100 motorcycle engines roared back to life. Across town, inside a glass office overlooking the city, Victor Kane smiled as he signed another multi-million-dollar contract. He had no idea that a little boy's desperate attempt to sell his bicycle had awakened the only people willing to challenge everything he had built. And before sunset, the Iron Guardians were coming for him.